Welcome back, adventurers, to Let's Play Biohazard 3 Real Survival. In the last episode, Jill and I searched through the barjack for what little items we could find, and then decided once again to head out through the alleyways and back streets of Raccoon City. And we managed to make it to this relatively compact storage area that serves as a safe haven for the time being. Unfortunately, the alleyway outside just happens to have a pair of zombified Dobermans, one of which is on fire, stalking outside. It should also be taken as read is that, well, we can actually venture down in this direction, at least on the Uptown map. We can't actually do so due to the fact that there is a large fire that is effectively keeping us from going down towards the sales office here. So thus we have no choice but to hightail it through this door as quickly as we possibly can without being mauled by the Dobermans, and making it out into the upper end of Fission Street. Just checking Jill's inventory here. I think we're as ready as we'll ever be. Well, it's time to brave the outside yet again. And we need to quickly move because those dogs are going to be right on our tail. And I do mean right on our tail. They're right there. They're right there. Oh my word. Oh my word. They're slow, but when they're set off, they will run at you at breakneck speed. And we finally made it to the upper part of Fission Street. Yes, it is called Fission Street, and well, at least there are no zombies in this particular area. There appears to be a cafe down in this direction, and well, we can't make it down through the rest of Fission Street, unfortunately, due to this obstacle that's in our way. What might either be a large truck or a large bus is basically overturned and on fire. So this area of Fission Street is completely inaccessible to us. Oh well. We can't get into this gallery area because of the debris, and because of the fact that it's completely sealed off. But see if we can just check this door here, and apparently it's locked with a simple lock. Well, it looks like we're going to have to find a trademark item that Jill really should have had her on her person right about now, which is her handy dandy trusty lockpick. Of course, even though she knew that the possibility of a T-virus outbreak in Raccoon City was a distinct reality, she never actually imagined it would happen this suddenly and on this scale as well. Old beaten down car here. Doesn't appear to be anything inside. And we can't go into the cafe either. And rather quaint bookstop, Ellie Books. We can't get in there either because these two cars are basically blocking our path, which is yeah. exceptionally unfortunate. Nothing else in this car everywhere. There was just ruination and desolation all over the place. Barricades absolutely everywhere. And appears to be a broken fire hydrant just over yonder. But this place might want to stand out of the way of the hydrant there. Jill, this place is definitely a sight for sore eyes. It is a location very familiar to Jill. But we are at none other than the none other than the Raccoon Police Department precinct itself. Which means that the area we're currently in is Ennerdale Street. Just me checking my own personal map there. And before we actually examine the gate closely, you can actually take a look at this fire hydrant. Very astute observation, and yeah, too bad about the water there, unfortunately. Doesn't appear to be anything in this wrecked police vehicle here, but yeah, the letters R.P.D. and the words Raccoon Police hang over this gate, as well as the flag for the Raccoon Police Department itself, and a flag for the United States of America in true fashion. Now, in Biohazard 2, you couldn't actually, Leon and Claire couldn't actually access the R.P.D. from this area of Ennerdale Street, and the R.P.D. gate only appears as a very hidden Easter egg in Biohazard 2. But of course, as of this moment in time, neither Claire Redfield nor Leon Kennedy, well, it'll be a long time before they arrive in Raccoon City right about now. But for Jill Valentine, she had some good memories at the R.P.D. while being a member of STARS, but she also had some bad memories at the R.P.D. Most notably, given the man who is presently serving as, or who has at least served as its chief of police up until this point, a Mr. Brian Irons, who, much like Chris Redfield, Jill isn't particularly, yeah, to say that she has as much of a high opinion of Irons as Chris and I do is an understatement for the ages. Now, of course, I'm sure as much as Jill Valentine would not want to venture into the R.P.D., we unfortunately have no choice. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us venture into the Raccoon Police Department's precinct proper. And hopefully we can actually get in through the gate. Oh hey, it's not locked. That's a good sign.
Jill! Brad! We've got to...
Oh dear word, the worst possible nightmare situation has occurred, and we have a choice. We can fight, or we can enter the police station. Oh my word. Oh my word! Run away! Run away! Oh my word! Forgiveness. Forgiveness, Brad. Oh my sweet jeebus. Oh my word. Yeah, that just happened, ladies and gentlemen. It's too dangerous to open the door. Now there is a very chilling hallmark for the ages. Yeah, Brad wasn't kidding when he told Jill at the bar jack that somebody would be hunting them down, specifically hunting the surviving STARS members, because they know about what happened during the mansion incident. Unfortunately, Jill had assumed that Brad was talking about a person, but given her previous encounters at the Arklay Mansion, and given her knowledge about Umbrella's insidious experiments, she should definitely have known better than to believe that Umbrella would simply send a person to deal with the STARS members. Now, during the month of August, even though Brian Irons was on Umbrella's payroll, Umbrella and STARS were at a kind of deadlock, because while the STARS couldn't really do anything against Umbrella due to the fact that the mansion and the experiments within it were completely and absolutely destroyed, in spite of the scraps of evidence that they did manage to acquire, Umbrella couldn't necessarily move against STARS themselves, because as soon as they disappeared following the tragedy of the mansion incident, people would have started to ask questions, no matter how afraid of Umbrella that they were. In the case of the Raccoon City tragedy, however, that situation has now been thrown out the window, and given what's just happened, Umbrella have free rein now to deal with the STARS members as they see fit. Now, Umbrella have done this in two ways. That is to say, they're trying to deal with the situation in Raccoon City in two ways. First and foremost, they've delivered what is known as T-00, which is the code name for their mass-produced Tyrant bioorganic weapons. Tyrant, of course, being the next stage up from the experimental T-002 Tyrant that was destroyed in the mansion, thanks to STARS members Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield, and with no small help from, sadly, Mr. Brad Vickers himself. Now, T-00, colloquially known as Mr. X, getting back to that, is a tyrant specifically designed to hunt down any surviving civilian witnesses who are still in Raccoon City, to make sure that they cannot tell the world of what has happened. Claire and Leon will, well, at the very least, Leon will encounter this one such T-00, the ominous Mr. X, and he will be a force to be reckoned with in and of his own right. But for the STARS members, however, Umbrella have a very nasty, have an even nastier surprise up their sleeves. Because they're not just sending Mr. X after them, oh no. Umbrella have sent their own experimental Tyrant-class bioweapon to handle the STARS personally. And that is the creature that has unfortunately decimated STARS member Brad Vickers. Why did the creature go after Brad to begin with? Well, he was the one that gave Chris and Jill the rocket launcher needed to kill the T-002 Tyrant. And you might be asking yourselves the question, well then, how do Umbrella know that Brad was the one who gave them the rocket launcher to kill the Tyrant? Well, the answer to that question, adventurers, is tragically simple. Because we were the ones that told them. Chris, Jill, Barry, and Rebecca. They were the ones that told Brian Irons and the R.P.D. about that unfortunate truth, which in turn allowed Umbrella to know what happened. Of course, the name is to the ominous spectre that is horrifically murdered Brad Vickers and dealt with, will soon deal with Jill Valentine in no small order. He has a moniker as well. He is the, at least in terms of the English localization, he is the eponymous Nemesis that was foreshadowed by Brad Vickers shortly before his untimely demise, and I'm just rambling here at this point just to illustrate how absolutely terrified I am. Because if you thought that Mr. X was terrifying, and he is, after all, a Tyrant bioorganic weapon is nothing to sneeze at. Nemesis is worse, far worse than you can ever imagine. The evil created by the Umbrella Corporation is even more horrifying than even Jill herself dared believe. And that is who we are going to be dealing with from here on out, ladies and gentlemen. We're not just fighting zombies. We're not just going to be fighting whatever horrific creatures that other creatures that Umbrella have been creating either directly or indirectly through their experiments, and that paints a very terrifying picture in my mind. But no, we have to deal with Nemesis. And unfortunately this time around, Brad Vickers is not around to provide us with a handy-dandy rocket launcher to deal with this new threat. And of course, now that Brad has been dealt with, we are next. Which only underscores how grave our ordeal actually is, and I'm having trouble articulating my sentences. And for that I apologize. But I'm going to leave this episode here for the time being. Apologies for my rambling, but when we return, adventurers, hopefully Jill and I can explore the desolation that once was the proud Raccoon Police Department precinct station, and dealing with whatever zombified citizens lurk within, while also dealing with our new foe. So with that, I shall leave you here for the time being, adventurers. As always, until next we meet, my friends.